make a uh, an acid that has a pH of under 0 and a base that has a pH of over, I should really know this, 15, 14. 14 sounds more right to me. 14. What? Elevate, social elevator? Why does it say it's going down though? I never even saw this. Anyway, we're back to the favelas here, and I recognize in Only Up, I'm just gonna be the guy that eventually finishes the game, and that's gonna be enough for me. We got other stuff coming up. They're making a new WarioWare. They did surgery on a grape. Final Fantasy 16 comes out tomorrow. We're just gonna have a fun time climbing here. Can I tell you, it boggles my mind. I really haven't watched too many other people play Only Up. It boggles my mind the appetite that streaming audiences have for Only Up. Almost everybody I follow streams Only Up almost every single day. And they all have like the highest view counts I've ever seen them have. It's out of control. Are you good at Boggle? Great question to start the stream off today. I am very good at Boggle. I would call myself a very, very good Boggle player in the league of people who play Boggle once every 8 years. Now the music, you might be like, why is it so quiet today? I'm trying to cheat the system because every one of my going up videos gets demonetized on YouTube. You might say, why are you still playing it? A, I want to beat it. B, I mean, it's just, when you've been making YouTube videos for like a decade, a couple videos getting demonetized. You're not going to hear other YouTubers say this. Other YouTubers hate him. A couple videos getting demonetized. It's okay. I'll, I'll live with it. Hang on. Give me one of these. Not the end of the world. Then why not crank the volume? Well, ideally I'd prefer it if they didn't get demonetized, but I'm willing to take some risk, but proportionally less risk. It's like I'm looking at the economic conditions ahead and saying I'm going to adjust my fixed income allocation right now. Doesn't mean I'm going to sell all my stocks and buy bonds, or sell my guitar and buy an arpeggiator. I heard that you and your band, etc., anyone LCD, everyone's LCD sound system pilled. It's not 2005 anymore. Okay. Take me up here. You will beat this game before Sips beats the level of Polybridge he's on. Maybe there's just something wrong with the Canadian education system. What level is he on? Is he using ropes and cables? Real question, why does Sound of Silver go so much harder than the rest of their catalog? Excuse me. The Sound of Silver it's tough. Sound of Silver has my favorite LCD Sound System songs. Someone Great might be #1 in the LCD Sound System oeuvre for me. All My Friends is pretty close, but the whole album is great, don't get me wrong. But This Is Happening also goes really hard, man. Dance Yourself Clean, I Can Change, Home. There's a lot of amazing stuff on that album. It might be their best album overall. I don't know. It's between that and Sound of Silver for me, but the self-title, honestly, I love LCD Sound System. The self-title is my tempo, but it's not as my tempo as everything that came after. Although I love Losing My Edge, obviously. Daft Punk is playing at my house, just sort of okay. Never as tired as When I'm Waking Up, the kind of song they never made again. There's some good stuff in there. There's some great stuff in there. Hang on, hang on. Dude, he's sprinting. We're on a new level here. Anyway, what was I talking about? I forgot. Is this harder or easier than Alt F4? It's an interesting question. I think that only up is actually easy, but it's a different kind of challenge. Like in Alt F4, there are jumps that I think you have like a 10% chance to make. But the game is proportionally shorter. Whereas only up, every jump has like a 95% probability to make. But when you mess up a jump, you're screwed a lot worse. Just don't fall forehead. So true, so true. I think it's, yeah, this is more of like a, only up is more of like a mental game. Speaking of which, let me tell you, Peloton this morning, first ride went A-OK. Second ride, 2 minutes in, I felt like a ball of ice in my abdomen. I felt my legs start to get a little shaky, and I said to myself, uh-oh, that's called bonking. That's called the wall. You know what it was is last night I ate a big dinner, so I said, I don't need to eat the bowl of cereal I normally eat right before bed. Then I went to bed, woke up, got on the Peloton, and like my body was like, yo, where's the bran, brother? Where's that bran that I digest overnight to give you the energy to do this? So I bonked. I hopped off while the ride was going on. Ran into the kitchen with my like the shoes with the clips still on, so I was stomping around like I was wearing stilettos. I found a Costco bag of raisins that I bought for my daughter and just shoveled handfuls into my mouth as quickly as possible. Ate them, clipped back into the bike. 10 minutes later, it was like the DeLorean got struck by lightning. I was back, baby. I was back. Oh, she's not going to eat all the raisins. There's like 1.8 kilograms. Just needed some old grapes. Hi, Jay. Hello. Here's a question for you. It's not really a Jay question, but feel free to answer it. I don't know. Maybe it is a Jay question. Can you raisin any fruit? Yes. Can you craisin any fruit? Why is it that raisins get their own name and they're considered like a separate food? Whereas, like, you can't buy a little cardboard box full of, like, dried mangoes or something like that. You're nasty. Because raisins are nasty? They're not nasty. They do have raisins. They kind of have, like, a weird taste. Like a syrupy taste or something. Like maybe Sun-Maid puts, like, a little extra syrup on the raisins or something like that. There's something about it, like... They wouldn't be my preferred choice of a snack, but I do know that what's good for glycemic index? Because raisins are like, if you're on a glycemic index diet, where when you see a food you glycemic index it, raisins are like the worst thing you can eat. Which is why as soon as I saw them in the kitchen, I was like, this is exactly what I need right now. I need some stuff where, like, as soon as you eat it, your body's like, oh, yum, sugar. And then it's like, anyway. Bye-bye, honey. Have a good day. Have a good day. I'll see you after daycare, okay? Bye-bye. That was our housekeeper. I'm just kidding. It was my daughter. Freshly shaven head. It's true. It's true. Remember we got our electric razor porch pirated on Saturday. My wife talked to Amazon customer service and basically said... what was the driver doing leaving the package in such an obvious position for someone to steal it? So they sent her replacement one for free, and it arrived like 2 days ago, and I shaved today, and it gets a lot tighter to the skin than the one I was using before, so I'm feeling pretty smooth today. I don't think the worker was reprimanded. Because if the Amazon workers were reprimanded for people's packages getting stolen, we wouldn't have any left in the city at this point. I feel like being. I'm not trying to, punch down here. I'm being sympathetic. I feel like being an Amazon delivery driver in a city is like a bit of a nightmare job. I feel like being an Uber driver, like driving people in your car and then dropping them off outside of their place is not so bad. I mean, it's not great, but like, I'd rather be an Uber driver than an Uber Eats driver. With then, like, because the problem is, I always see them. They go up to like these huge glass towers, and they got like 17 packages, and then they got to go on the intercom and figure out how to like get inside it. Like every building to get into is like its own escape room. You got to call the people on the packages until eventually one of them is home and answers and buzzes you in. And then you go in and you don't even like, some buildings you give the packages at their doors. Some buildings you just dump them all in the lobby. Some of them have like different lock boxes and stuff like that. Like that sounds extremely annoying. Like I feel like the driving is okay. And the lifting stuff is probably mostly okay. But then, like, just the logistics of, like, every single different building having to actually get inside of it is, like... I also feel like this is maybe a corollary to that argument. I feel like if you're a robber, you should just try to get a job as an Amazon delivery driver for, like, a week. And then keep the Amazon garb. And then carry around, like, an empty Amazon box. And then just go to the front door of, like, an apartment building and wait for someone to let you in. And then steal whatever you can carry out. I don't let people into, apartment buildings because I've been hurt before. But, like, if somebody is holding a paper bag of food that says Uber Eats on it, or they're wearing, like, a blue Amazon vest, I'm like, come on, get in here. And then I go into my house and I lock the door. And I say, if they're a robber, well, at least I'm on their good side. Not legal advice. Some Amazon delivery driver bought a Lamborghini by selling the Amazon packages he stole. Yo, but where did he sell them, though? That's not based. It's actually dumb. It would be slightly based if he, like, spent the money on something, like, important. But to commit crime like that just to buy a Lamborghini is like, okay, like it's Shania Twain. So you got a nice car. That don't, like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna, now you got to get a job, like, to pay for all the other stuff in your life. You're gonna be driving your Lamborghini for Uber Eats or something like that. The tires are probably like 10 grand a year. You can just run up 7 years of credit card debt and then declare bankruptcy. I don't really know how that works, but you ever see Medea's Witness Protection with Eugene Levy and Denise Richards? No, okay, man. Well, me neither. No spoilers. I'm only halfway through. Eugene Levy and Medea have not met yet. Thank you. You see the investor TikTok in the pool? No, I saw a thumbnail preview. I didn't see the TikTok yet. The most recent investor TikTok I saw was the guy who got asked if he was a billionaire, and he said, well, like in numbers terms, no, but you know, I run a hedge fund, and if you do a money calculator, then like, let me put it this way. If I came to my investors and said like, I had a sure thing, give me money, like I could get 200 people to give me $500,000. So am I a billionaire? No, but like when you run the money calculator, I will be soon, hopefully a trillion soon. I didn't even go this way last time. The pool one is great. He said commit fraud with business credit. I've seen some like that before. I've seen TikToks that are like, what do I do to get money from the bank? Oh, I set up like 2 LLCs or something like that, and then I give my personal money to the LLC, go into banks and go like use the business the money in my business account as collateral to get like a huge loan, and then I just move the money back into my personal account. And I'm like, brother, that's like you're money laundering, but not even like to stop to obfuscate the proceeds of crime. Like you're actually just money laundering to go into debt. Like it doesn't even make any sense. I don't know enough about it to specifically say how you're going to get arrested, but I would say for certain your arrest is imminent. Or at the very least, you're going to get like an insane phone call from the IRS, and then you're going to get like really scared, and they're going to make you give the money back with penalties. And then the LLC declares bankruptcy, and you change your phone number. So true. Whoa. Help me get away from myself. We want to go to the up house. That's right. When you playing Final Fantasy? I'm a good boy. I play by the rules. I don't care if you live in Australia and you have access to Final Fantasy 16 now. Congratulations for you. That's like the charity that you get as compensation for living in Australia, where if a game has a woman in it, it gets banned for sexual content for some reason. Okay? So just take the dubs as they lie. I'm willing to give you some credit for being one of the first time zones. I don't know if Australia and New Zealand are the first. They got to be close. Hello, Corey, by the way. Did you pre-order it? I haven't pre-ordered it yet. I was waiting to see the reviews. And I was like, if it gets a 90 or above, I'm going to pre-order it. And then I got an 88. And I'm going to pre-order it. Close enough. It rounds to 90. Yeah. In some ways, 88 is better than a 90. I don't want a perfect game. I want a game that has flaws that I find endearing. I mean, Deadly Premonition 2, that was like a 51. And in some ways, that's one of the best games ever made. Not like from an engineering perspective, or like a narrative one, but like kind of the whole shebang put together. Well, not so much. But there was some interesting stuff going on. I don't think anyone would deny that. What's the last horror movie you watched? That's a good question. That's such a good question, I have no idea. I actually have no clue. Oh, if you count Dumb and Dumberer when Harry met Lloyd, There are some scary moments, like when Harry puts the Hershey's chocolate bar in his back pocket, and then he sits on the radiator, and then he goes into the bathroom because he's got to go pee, and then he realizes the back of his butt is covered in like brown smears, and he goes, "Oh no, did I?" And then that's the Bob Saget. There's shit everywhere. There's shit everywhere. Ah, Megan. Yeah, Megan is the last horror movie I watched. That was pretty good. I had a good time. The Meganaissance. Remember when everyone thought Megan was going to be pure ass, and I was the only, well, me and 10,000 14-year-old kids from Brazil on Twitter were the only people who knew that it was going to be amazing? Ooh, that's not so good. That's one of the hardest jumps. I'm not gonna be too mad about that. It's easier to be mad about that for sure. There we go. Back on the train. We're not back to the favelas. We're okay. I mean, if you think that's like a big fall, I don't know what to tell you. That's nothing, man. If you think that's a big fall, wait till September. Have I told you my take yet? Like, okay, when does, I think I've said this 20 times. In the course of the last year. When does summer start? It's like today, right? Isn't today the official start of summer? That's BS, man. It's been summer for, I say, 3 weeks. I get that the whole year, maybe it's different, like, depending on where you live, but, like, not all the seasons are the same length. Summer is a long season. It stretches from, like, the second week of May until, like, the middle of September. Then we get, like, a little, at the very least, June 1st is the start of summer. The first day you wear shorts, it's no longer spring anymore. But the thing is, when summer starts, you know it's summer. When spring starts, it's like a recession. You know, you don't know it happened until you're already like halfway through. Because you get tricked by spring all the time. It's cold, and then like one day the sun is out and like a couple flowers start to bloom and like your allergies kick up and you're like, is it spring? I think it's spring. And then you put on like shorts, you walk outside and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing, finally. And then like for the next 2 weeks, it snows. And you're like, what the hell? I was wearing shorts 2 days ago. But once summer hits, there is no regression back to spring. It's a state change. It's a physical change. June, July, and August are summer. Well, I agree with the take. The thing is, you're missing like a third of the summer almost when summer officially starts June 21st. Like, I refuse to believe that June 1st to June 20th are spring. I'd be more inclined to call March spring than June. And on a per capita basis, it's just simply, it's not the way that they're defined. We're pivoting to a two-party system for seasons. Maybe seasons should be regionally adjusted. Like in Vancouver, I would say we only have 2.5 seasons. Corey, feel free to agree or disagree. We have rainy season, and then we have nice season, and that's basically it. The other seasons, our fall and our spring, can be defined as being different mixes of the other seasons. Oh, okay. That was much better than it could have been. Let's focus on the positive there. What about spider season? Okay, so rats are not spiders, but we put that rat poison out in the traps in our barbecue on Saturday. Okay. Today or yesterday was Tuesday. I said time to check the rat traps. Okay. So I pulled off the cover of the barbecue and I opened up like the propane tank area where I kept one of the traps. And I looked down and there was no rat in the trap. And I said, huh, there was like rat poop, but no rat. I looked up because the other one was like on a shelf next to the barbecue. And there was just a little dude sitting there like, and I was like, I thought he was dead. I thought he was poisoned. So I went back into the house to get some gloves because I'm like, I'm not getting the bubonic plague over this. Like my immune system is compromised clearly anyway. When it like heard the door close, it turned around. And I was like, this thing's still alive. So I don't know like what to do with it. And then Kate came down and she was like, you gotta bash it. And I was like, I'm not gonna like, I'm gonna kill the rat with poison, but I'm not gonna like bash it and then take its like destroyed corpse into our house or something like that. And then I said, okay, fine, I'll bash it. Give me a broom. And then she said, you can't use a broom. It'll get stuck in the bristles. And then she gave me a cat toy that was like this long. And she said, okay, go get it. And the thing, it was like a dowel. I don't know if you know what a dowel is, but the thing weighed like an ounce. I was out there holding like a chopstick. I don't know what I was going to do with this. But before I got outside, the rat started to scurry. And then it like was scurrying along the barbecue, and it was a little bit of like messed up. I think it ingested a little bit of poison, because it like fell off the barbecue and then just ran away. So I'm hoping that it just doesn't come back. If it comes back, I'm hoping it dies to the poison, because I'm so annoyed. Like, not annoyed enough to turn into Conan the Barbarian and, like, smash its skull. Like, I'm just too much of a wuss for that right now, but I don't know. Maybe about 2 weeks into November, I could muster the courage. Either way, I will not use my barbecue, because every time I take the barbecue cover off, like, there's at least, like, 8 or 9 rat turds just sitting in various places on the barbecue. So, like, I'm not gonna clean my barbecue like spotless, cook 2 burgers, and then like put the cover back on knowing that it's going to get shit on again. So I need to wait for the damn rat to die or to not come back for a while. It's pretty disgusting. The poison takes over a week to work. The dude at Home Depot, he took me to the restricted poison and told me it only takes 2 days. But I think maybe I caught the rat like mid-feed. But then Kate told me like rats are so smart that like modern rats, when they encounter novel food, they deliberately only eat a little bit just in case it's poison. That's crazy. I mean, it makes sense from like a natural selection standpoint. I suppose rats that were more, what's the word I'm looking for? Rats that were more skeptical of novel foods probably lived longer and thus maybe reproduced more than rats that were not skeptical of novel food, but still, that's crazy. A bird is going to eat that rat, get sick, and die? I'm okay with that, to be honest with you. What? Deserved. What happened there? Instant karma? Bro, we got too many birds in Vancouver. We're chock full of seagulls, we're chock full of crows. And we got way, way, way too many geese. Just because I don't have the cojones to take care of them myself, like... I'm just saying. But I also, like, here's the thing. I would prefer not to kill the rat. But I can't, like, sit down and have, like, a Frost v. Nixon with the rat and be like, hey, can you stop shitting on my barbecue? Like, even if you just lived on the patio in a place that I didn't see, and then you shit, like, in the corner so I could spray it down with the garden hose, that would be totally fine. But the fact that you live in the barbecue and shit on the, like, the grill is unacceptable. So he's trying to make me sick, so I'm gonna make him sick. It's a him or me situation. If I could just convey this idea to the rat, this, like, don't be here. Why don't you just plug the hole in the barbecue? Because, like, the propane tank needs, like, a place to go. And, like, the grill has to have slats in it so that you can cook the food. And then, like, the grill has to have a place to vent the smoke. Otherwise, when you open the barbecue, you would die. Like that dude in season 2 of Survivor. I was thinking you could just ignite it, but I'm pretty sure, like... I don't really want to cook a rat in my barbecue. Especially one that's been poisoned. By me. And then B, I think it would just, like, irritate it. Like, I think that it would get really hot really fast, but not hot enough to, like, kill it. It would just be like, ow, and then it would scurry away. It's just annoying, basically. It's not a huge problem. We did buy some taro liquid bait, and that seems to be doing the trick on the ants, though. So I appreciate that recommendation. But, like, I'm not sweating the ants that much. Like, I could have, like, 100,000 ants in my yard, and that's, like, not as annoying as one rat. Time for the cats to earn their keep. I don't think Ruka has killed, like, even a housefly for more than a decade. Like, he's straight up useless. I have to point out, you know how, like, many advantages when it comes to, like, hunting prey a cat has versus a human being? And meanwhile, my ass is, like, pointing out the fly to my cat. I'm like, there he is. Go get him. This dude should be able to go, like, David Cage mode, right? Turn on, like, thermal vision and go... Tomo doesn't even try, which is... I mean, like, I don't know. They're both admirable, I guess, in their own way. I have to point out treats for my cat is crazy, man. Like, the cats... I mean, like... Why would they try to hunt something, right? We give them all their food. All they have to do is, like, sit around and eat it, right? That's like, you know, when you're on summer vacation and you don't have anything to do, and then your mom asks you to take the chicken breast out of the freezer so that it defrosts by the time she gets home so she can cook you a nice dinner. And then you're like, Mom, that's literally so much work. Like, that's impossible. When you have nothing to do, being asked to do even, like, the smallest thing sounds like the biggest thing. So I can see why my cats are like, there's literally no incentive for me to hunt this fly. But it is crazy. My cat won't eat his food unless you mix it up first. I'm with you. We have like different kinds of cat treats for both of the cats. Cause Tomo only likes Temptations, and Ruka likes everything but Temptations. Like they can't get on the same page. They have like human type preferences. I feel like you don't have that as much in the wild, right? Like, is it like you're a baby cat, and then like your mom brings home a bird, and you're like, oh, mom, do you have any rats? I don't eat birds. I think you just eat whatever's available. I guess that they've just never really been hungry. Now that I think about it. I deserve that one. I do. I was going too fast. I was rushing. Bed skip me, though? Take me back to the bed because I didn't move fast enough? Oh, what? That hurts. I got too much speed. Oh, back to the favelas. Okay. I hit an invisible wall. Is what it is. The worst part of being in the favelas is like I have nowhere to go, man. Like, oh, there's a bed. Okay, hang on. Oh, all right. I wonder if you could jump off from really high, hit the favela's bed, and use that to jump even higher. Guy who doesn't understand physics. Is it possible to fall from a height, hit a spring, and then have that spring bounce you even higher than the height that you started at? That doesn't really seem to make sense to me. There's an elevator here? Okay, take the stairs. The elevator goes to Pipes. Pipes is like the 3rd floor. I'm not taking the elevator up to the 3rd floor. It's gonna breed bad habits. Bad habits lead to late nights, sucking on the date night, eating lots of crepes like I don't even know. Is that the Ed Sheeran? That sounds like an Ed Sheeran song. Is that an Ed Sheeran song? Is that Louis Capaldi? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm so not British. I thought Louis Capaldi was the guy who played Doctor Who. And that's not a joke. Now I realize it's Peter Capaldi, but...
Sometimes it's hard to choose the right path, but don't be afraid. You can always repeat. You learn from our mistakes.
Me too? They are related, though. Oh, that makes sense. He's the guy from Paddington. I've yet to see the Paddingtons, but I've read many of the books. It's got to be one of the only cases where the book is longer than the movie, right? Every Paddington book is like 8 pages long. I mean, sorry, the movie is longer than the book is what I meant to say. One of the only cases where the movie's longer than the book. Every Paddington book is like, Paddington took the day off. He read a magazine and then he got sleepy, so he took a nap. After his nap, he was hungry, so he made marmalade sandwiches. Goodbye. It is the life, don't get me wrong. What about Dr. Seuss? I guess the movies are longer than the books, but the Dr. Seuss books they're pretty long for like baby book standards. Like I feel like Cat in the Hat came back. Horton Hears a Who. They're like 60 pages. Now there's 60 pages of like every other page is a picture, and then like the pages with words have like 20 words maximum on them each, but still. They should make a Fox in Socks movie. Starring Eminem. And when the Tweedlebeetles battle in a Tweedle battle with a puddle on a noodle eating poodle, they call it a Tweedlebeetle puzzle battle. I've been reading a lot of Fox and Socks lately. This seems like... This one's risky, man. Why wouldn't I just walk up the train instead? Maybe you jump onto that bed. I don't know. That one seems like a trap. Everyone says bed. They always use the bed. Every time I touch a bed, people go, oh, that bed's a trap. So what, are there like 2 beds in the whole game that are actually worth it? Yes. Okay, well, point them out when you see them. Yes, sir. A snowed egg. Thank you for the gifted subscriptions as well. Thank you. Just for you, I'm going to do a reckless action. Oh, man. You should have seen your face. A little scary, right? A little scary. Ever made poutine? Nope. Poutine is in the class of foods that I will not make myself. Not because it's like complicated to make, but it's just annoying. It's 3 different ingredients. Now you got to make your French fries. If you're making your own poutine at home and you're not making your own French fries, then you're a hypocrite. You should just skip the middleman and get like an already completed poutine rather than like going to the grocery store and buying frozen French fries and then cooking them yourself at home in the air fryer. Like, that's crazy. Then you got to get your own gravy going, which requires like a saucepan, and then you're probably just making it from a powder anyway. The curds you buy from the store, that one, not much is changing. But if you're going to make your own poutine at home, you better do it up right. That's all I'm saying. I also feel like it's one of those foods that I don't want to make at home because I only should eat it once every like year, maybe. My poutine ratio in my 30s is like way less than once a year. But I think once a year is probably like once every 2 weeks is probably acceptable. But I'm just saying I don't want to incentivize it like any more than it already is incentivized by tasting so delicious. It's a bad habit, which leads to late nights, which means to sucking on a date night. Eating lots of grapes with boys I don't even know. Something like that. Maybe I know more Ed Sheeran songs than I thought. What was peak poutine ratio? Probably ate it like once a week in high school, which is like more than you should, for sure. But also, like, part of that is probably, like, on my high school for having a cafeteria that only sold, like, burgers, fries, poutine. I don't even remember. I don't know if they had anything else. I know on Tuesdays they had Mexican fries. Everybody seemed to like Mexican fries day. Pizza, they did... I think they had like little pizzas, like the toaster oven style pizzas. What's Mexican fries? It's basically poutine, but imagine like the ingredients that you would have in like a burrito bowl instead, minus any kind of meat whatsoever. Actually, never mind. I think they had ground beef. So it would be like French fries. I was going to say queso, but let's not do it any favors. Just some kind of nacho cheese ooze. Ground beef, green onions, diced tomatoes, sour cream. Something like that. It's sold by Taco Bell in Canada under the name Fries Supreme. I don't know if they have Fries Supreme in America. We have our own unique regional delicacies up here sometimes. Favorite ancient wonder of the world? I've always been partial to the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Colossus at Rhodes is pretty cool too, because it reminds me of Lord of the Rings. Pyramids, I mean, you got to respect the pyramids for sure, but I feel like the pyramids is like saying, you know, your favorite Radiohead song is Creep. It's like, come on, you haven't even gotten to the interesting wonders of the world yet. By the way, I can't name any more. Something in Knossos? Isn't there something in Knossos? Oh. Temple of Artemis. From the start of this run in the game, James West Tame in the West, so remember the name. Name the 3 pharaohs in the Giza pyramids. I cannot. I'm going to say... Help. Who was Moon Knight? I'm going to say Ramses II. I'm going to say one of the Ptolemies. And then let's go with Nefertiti. Did I get a single one right? Come on, one of the Ptolemies? Those are like 2,000 years apart? Well, they weren't built overnight, brother. Do you see how big those limestone chunks are? Khufu is correct. I don't remember saying Khufu. Like a limestone cowboy. So true. The Ptolemies are all post-period. Well, lucky for them. Am I right, fellas? And also ladies? Oh, man. The road work ahead? Gee, I sure hope it does. Oh, man. So true. Anyway. I was thinking about this stream yesterday. My ass made fun of South Granville. Then wouldn't you know it, driving in my car yesterday, sat-nav goes turn left on Granville Street. My ass out here looking like a fool. Got to turn left on the Granville Street. The city of Vancouver has not yet discovered the invention of protected left turn signals. 2 cars in front of me, turning left. Takes me 5 lights to be able to go through the damn intersection. Barely made it on time to pick up my kid from the daycare so that the daycare provider didn't like legally execute me. But we made it. We made it. My ass is not... I'm not taking Granville Street anymore. I'm done. I'm done with Granville Street, okay? From now on, I'm taking... Well, you can't take Canby because anyone else here from Vancouver? Brother, what the hell is going on with the construction on Canby Street? This is taking forever, man. What and then they got construction around the SkyTrain. Then they're building those like low rises once you get down to like 33rd or something like that is construction. You get down to Oak Ridge. They've been building the Oak Ridge Mall for 10 years and they haven't even broken ground yet. Like, get a clue. So you can't drive on Granville. Your ass can't drive on Canby. The hell am I gonna? I gotta debase myself and take Oak Street. I gotta take Oak Street. Pass by the damn DE Dutch. Ridiculous, man. Anyway, I think I'm probably gonna take Oak Street instead. It's a nice area. Oak Street? It's almost as bad as South Granville, man. No disrespect. You really think my ass is gonna be like looking at all the sights when I drive through Marpole? No. Say what you will about South Granville. At least they've got stores. The hell am I gonna do in Marpole? If I gotta stop for a drink, you know, just to wet my whistle, I'm gonna have to pull into the damn airport or something like that. It's the only place around. All right, that's enough Vancouver posting for now. Whoa. Can we talk about Toronto instead? No, because I don't know anything about the roads in Toronto. I can name a few. Yonge Street, that's a big one. Bayshore. Very familiar with Bayshore. I'm not familiar with what's on the street, but I'm familiar with the street existing. The QEW and the Gardiner Express Parkway. Believe those were where the condos were, where the lady threw the chair off the condo and then went to prison or whatever. Bay Street, that's right. And then that's where like Union Station is by Bay Street or something. With the story of the dude who was in the office tower and they just got like new windows installed and he was like, check out how strong the windows are. So he body checked the window and then the glass paneling came out and he fell to his death. Sorry, I kind of brought the mood down, but that's all I know about Bay Street, really. Oh, it's Lakeshore! That's, I was thinking of Bayshore, Bay Street. I got Bay Street and Bayshore confused. I know Nathan Phillips Square. I'm familiar with does Nathan Phillips Square still have the large Future Shop in it? Probably not, right? Sign of the Times, probably a large Best Buy now. Bloor? I've heard of Bloor Street, yeah. The Eden Center? I've had lunch at the Eden Center once. It is where people demand to shop. That's where they say, why are you closed? I've been to Toronto. I've been to the Sky Dome field at Rogers Arena. I've been to the Medieval Times. I've been out to Vaughan to go to Canada's Wonderland a couple times. You ever been to the CN Tower? See, that's one that I have not been to, which is crazy because it's literally right next door to the Sky Dome. I've seen the CN Tower up close. I've never been up there. What do you do there? It's the same as any really tall building. You like take an elevator up to the roughly the top of it. Then you like look around and you get like a little scared. And then you get like acclimated to it and you take a picture on like the glass bottom floor looking down at your feet. And then you take the elevator down and you go get some lunch in like the Distillery District or something. Hardest jump in the damn game. That is where Drake sits on the Views album cover. You're absolutely right, Jay. It took a lot of grinding to get these views. Technically true, because I think just to take the elevator, it probably costs like $100. What's wrong with the Distillery District? What, you don't like the Mill Street Brew Pub? I'll tell you, like, in the modern era of craft beer, the Mill Street Brew Pub might not be that impressive. But in an era where, like, even cool dads with 7-inch inseam shorts were drinking, like, Molson Canadian, just to have a brewery that made a beer that tasted a little bit like tea was like a revolution at the time. We respect our elders here. InBev bought Mill Street. That explains why even in Vancouver you can get Mill Street Organic on tap like just about anywhere. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, hang on. We're in a new zone here. I got to focus a little bit. We got to focus. 6-inch or nothing. What is a 6-inch inseam short? Do Do you measure the inseam from... Wait a minute. Can I be honest with you? I think I'm wearing 5-inch inseam shorts. I was calling them 7 inches, but I think I was measuring like from the bottom of the short to like the waistband. Measuring the seam here. That's a short seam, man. Jay, I'm wearing, I'm telling you this because we work together on the merch drop, not just because I want you to know what I'm wearing. I'm wearing small gray Northern Lion shorts from the last merch drop. Do you have the Tim Gunn diagrams available that can approximate for the audience what the seam is like?